service department, and even if you buy a pre-owned car, like I did for Toyota or whatever, their service department can take care of you. They handle all the brands. They're excellent. Also brought to you by Hawkeye Title and Settlement, Steve Anderson's place. Mike's E-Keys for Cars, GT Car and his crew at Supple's Building and Remodeling. Supple's Flowers, the home of 1-800-800-ROSE. The Midtown Family Restaurants. Harty and Stocker Jewelers, 101 South Dubuque Street, downtown Iowa City. Diamond Dreams Sports Academy. Senior Benefits. Premier Automotive in North Liberty. The Ox Yoke Inn in the Amanas. Streets Maintenance. Dr. Lance Forbes, Diamond Dental in Cedar Rapids, and Big Dog Tech Solutions. God, these are good. These
cupcakes?
Cupcakes are just
well, yeah,
freaking great.
Yeah, Ann makes a mean cupcake. She does.
Yeah. No, they're
Are the same ones from Monday?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
no, well, she did. Yeah, but there's more on the.
I know, but the same ones that were there Monday.
No.
No, a new.
The same batch.
You just brought in more of.
But I bought more.
Because I was going to say, I'm surprised that those things would have lasted.
No, they didn't. No.
No, they didn't last here.
I even had one.
Yeah. Oh, they're really dang good.
I may have another.
Well, you should.
I might. You guys didn't do anything to them, did you?
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
What'd you do to them?
I was picking stuff out of my ear, and no, we didn't do anything to them.
We'll see what Karn has to say about the Iowa baseball loss and the softball win last night.
Hello.
Hello. Well, Grand Slam was the name.
It was
wonderful. It
wonderful.
helped the Iowa women beat Iowa State, but it beat the men because Illinois State had the Grand Slam.
There you go. That's baseball, softball.
Well, Jalen Adams also helped by throwing a shutout.
I watched the softball, and then I went over and watched the end of the baseball.
Yeah, that was a tough
They
loss for
started
baseball.
to come back, but not all the way.
They're going to probably have to win the Big Ten to make the NCAA tournament. That's
this is going to knock their RPIs down.
Their RPI is already 70. I mean, it was not good to begin with. So,
isn't it weird that a team that's solidly ahead in the Big Ten standings might not make the NCAA
tournament? Well, Big Ten
tournament?
baseball is not very highly ranked.
Well, that's true,
and
too.
they haven't played the tough teams in the conference. I mean,
that's coming up.
And they won't play they don't play UCLA.
I told Marty, I said, well, if you're going to have bad games, you might as well have them in the middle of the week instead of on the weekends.
Yeah.
Well,
but
yes
you said
and no.
They don't have any more middle of the week games.
Yeah, but they're probably going to have to win the conference to get in.
And then they play Washington this weekend, don't they?
Yes, they do.
There's some people were saying last night, even if they win the conference, if they win the Big Ten regular season, they'll get in the tournament.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, yeah, I'm hardly a college baseball authority, but that seems pretty obvious. But that's a big if. They're up by 2.5 right now, and so we'll see. I mean,
and they have Oregon State, Oregon, and Washington.
Yeah, and Oregon State, obviously, they could lose all three, and that's not going to impact their Big Ten standings, but that would really kill their momentum and hurt their.
Yeah, but if they win two of the three,
they got to get some. Well, they got to win this Washington series. They got to start working on this RPI ranking that's in the 70s now.
Yeah. Well, you guys have a good day. And is it supposed to rain today? Because the women play UNI tonight.
It's supposed to scattered showers and thunderstorms today.
You think we'll be able to get that game in?
Yes.
Yeah, why not?
I'm saying yes. Wow, the alarm is backing down.
I'll take your word for it.
Yeah. Thank green screen boys.
Man.
Yeah.
Okay. Bye, boys.
Okay.
The alarmist is softening up a little bit.
Yeah, we went to the softball game yesterday. It was solid.
The old Steve would have said, no way you're getting that game in. Get underneath your couch.
Well, when you have scattered showers.
But you said thunderstorms, too.
And thunderstorms.
That's,
So now
could be chaos.
Sean Cable, the morning meter says isolated showers and thunderstorms.
Okay.
I think that's probably accurate.
Watch, just right over the softball field just for like 2 hours. I'm just funning. But no, that's a tough loss for baseball last night. I was going to go over there, but I didn't feel good last night. And it was weird.
Too bad.
All I needed was to go to sleep. It's weird. Have you ever had that? where I had a little bit of a sore throat, and I was like, God, I'm not getting sick, am I? And then I just fell asleep on the couch around 10 o'clock. Next thing I know, it's 4 in the morning, and I felt fine.
Oh, good.
But I didn't want to go over there breathing on Iowa athletes if I thought I was coming down with something. But yeah, that was a nice win for the softball team. Now they've got Rutgers. They need to win all 3 of these games. No question. They need to just win these 3 games.
Mm-hmm.
But it is a college team they're playing against, and so it's not going to. They're not just going to lay down and die. But like you said, Rutgers is like, aren't they like 2-6?
I think only 1.
Or were they 1-16 the last time you read their record off?
They are. Oh, I'm sorry. They just must have won a couple games. They're 3-16.
Who'd they just beat? I wonder. Somebody
that I don't.
Probably one of those other teams near the bottom, I would assume. Well, that shows they have a pulse.
Mm-hmm.
And Iowa lost to a Michigan State team that had only won 4 games. So, no, this series is here. I think they're gonna have good crowds. So, what do you think? Did you enjoy?
Yeah, we enjoyed it a lot.
It's a nice setup. I like their facility. Did you get anything to eat?
We did.
What'd you get?
Got unfortunately, a Busch Light. But
what was wrong with that?
I don't like Busch Light.
Yeah, Busch Light blows.
And
why is that the beer? Why is that?
Well, because they had like White Claw, which is I'm not going to drink, and they had an IPA that I'm not going to drink, and then they had what's the really low carb beer?
Michelob Ultra?
Yes. And I don't want to drink that.
That's got like 76. Why don't they have like Bud Light or?
I don't know, but they don't.
And it must be sponsorship related, right?
It must be. So we got a Bud, and each had a Busch Light and a Brat.
Oh, the brats. I've had the brats over there.
Okay.
They're not bad.
It was okay.
Yeah.
And our interview from a couple weeks ago had the win. What turned out to be the winning RBI with a sac fly. Mm-hmm. Put us ahead 1-0, and that was enough.
And then the Grand Slam.
And then the Grand Slam was icing.
But no, Jalen Adams, she's 23, and she's having a hell of a season.
Mm-hmm.
And so, yeah, that was a big win for softball. Now they're 12. They have a really good chance of finishing 15-7 in Big Ten play. That's pretty impressive. And you saw the news yesterday that Renee Gillespie is not coming back. Hopefully everything with her medical situation is moving forward in a positive direction. I don't know if that's related. I mean, you can reach your own. All we know is that they're going to do a national search. And I'll tell you, Carl Golan deserves some.
Oh, man.
He deserves some consideration. He definitely deserves some consideration.
I agree.
Now, if the greatest softball coach in the history of the game decides they want to, whoever that is, wants to coach at Iowa, I get. But Carl Golan deserves some serious consideration for what he's been able to do with his team and for how the players talk about him. They seem to really like him.
Well, and Beth is completely aware of that.
Oh, yeah, she doesn't need. Yeah, she's. Oh, yeah, that's a good idea. I just heard Pat say on the radio that we need to consider Carl. So write that down.
I bet she.
You think she didn't know it until she heard it here?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll go with that. That's why we're here to help. Yeah. We're here to help the community.
But yeah, I was amazed by how many young girls were there.
Yeah.
There were, gosh, a half dozen softball teams at least.
Yeah, and and that was part of a promotion, wasn't it?
I don't know.
I'm sure it was part, but that's fine. You do that, but more times than not, though, that place this season has been pretty full. The games I've been there, I mean, of course, the game where they came back for the first time after the national anthem controversy. There, I was at that game. There was a good crowd there. But how would you describe the crowd yesterday? Was the place more than half full?
Oh yeah,
it was close to full, wasn't it?
It was 90% full, maybe more.
Yeah, no, this has been an incredible one-year turnaround. Remember, last year they barely won any games and didn't make the conference tournament.
Yeah, and every 15 seconds another young girl would come by with, walking taco.
That's what you need to do.
I mean, and they spent a fortune.
Did you ever stand up and yell Iowa State sucks?
I did.
There you go.
And bought a megaphone, and I used that.
Okay. That would have been just like about 2 or 3 times every inning, just stand up and holler that to the Iowa State fans. Were there a lot of Iowa State fans there?
No, but there were some.
There were some, okay.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, and they always sit them in that far left, usually. Well, behind the Iowa State, the visiting team's dugout is where usually a lot of them sit.
So they're usually on first baseline then?
Yeah, that's at least from when I'm there. So, yeah, no, now you got to hit – you're going to go to one of the Oregon games, aren't you?
Probably.
Yeah, I plan on covering 2 of those. Now, I probably won't do the Friday game just because it's so late, but we'll see circumstances. If they can clinch the Big Ten on Friday night, I'll probably be there, even though I'll be at home writing my story at 12:30 at night.
Well, and then the softball team hosts Rutgers in games that we should hopefully win.
They should win all three. Doesn't mean they will.
So, slip out and see one of those.
Yeah, and then, of course, the baseball team is in Des Moines playing Oregon State, who's really good at Principal Park, which I think is cool. I'd rather have it here.
Yes,
selfishly, because I'm not going to be. I don't still think I'm going to have time to get down there. But that's good. And they're in Seattle. Rick was telling me that he's never been to Seattle. He does say they have a nice facility. And do you have an updated record for Washington? Last time we checked, they were 11-6.
Washington is 13-8.
Okay, so they've split. Okay, so that's they're a formidable opponent, and they're playing at home.
Yeah.
And they're a former Pac-12, so they're used to playing big series against good teams. So this will be a big test for Iowa. I'm just glad they're not playing Illinois, Chicago, Bradley, or Illinois State.
Yeah, evidently.
Or Western Illinois. Now, I say that cap-kidding. I had a couple of people reach out and ask me, how do they lose these games? Well, I'm not going to bring it on just one, but they don't use their top pitchers in the midweek games. Their starters are guys that are trying to move up in the pecking order, trying to show that they deserve more time. It's more of an experimentation with the midweek starters.
And to get them experience.
Yeah, and to get them experience. But no, their best pitchers pitch the Big Ten games, and that's a big part of it. But that doesn't mean, they got beat 6-5. And, they got beat, I think Western Illinois was 7-3. The offense didn't produce a lot against Western Illinois. And like Rick said last night, they didn't get the barrel on the bats last night.
And we dug a deep hole, and we came back, but they just
came
not
back
far
to
enough.
Too deep of a hole. Didn't Illinois State, I think, scored like 4 runs in the second or third inning, like that. So, but no, that's a tough loss because those midweek games, they don't help you at all. They just hurt you when you lose them, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
of course, they help you when you win them, but they don't help you much, is what I'm saying. But when you lose them, they really hurt you. No, their RPI, the last I guess somebody said it was 70 going into the game last night.
Yikes.
The last we had checked it, it was 63. No, it was 68. So that's the RPI. That's an issue for them right now. But they have plenty of opportunity. They have 9 games to help their RPI immensely.
Yes, they do. And they're against 3 good teams.
Yeah, and at all 3 different venues: Seattle, Des Moines, and Iowa City. Interesting.
And if you lose any of those games, it's not going to be devastating.
No, but you can't lose too many of them.
No.
Because next thing you know, you're not winning the Big Ten and you're not making the NCAA.
Oh, we have to do that.
Yeah, you don't want to. I'm guessing the Big Ten usually gets anywhere from 1 to 3 or 4 teams in the tournament. So we'll see. They need to finish strong, though. There's a lot of baseball left. And like I said earlier, I hope everything with Renee Gillespie is going fine. When I saw that announcement, I guess I wasn't surprised or not surprised. But at least we have some clarity now in the situation, and it will be interesting to see how this plays out. Because right now they do have some momentum.
They do.
They do. They're going to go, at worst, they're going to win this Rutgers series, maybe go to the Big Ten tournament, win a game or 2, probably not make the NCAA tournament, but still have a really good season. Mm-hmm. And that's something you can build on.
Well, it was, they played hard. Their defense was good. Mm-hmm. Pitching was outstanding.
Yeah, when you give up no, what was it, 5-0?
Yeah.
Yeah. Jalen Adams, like I said, she's had they got a freshman, Talia Trayton, that has played well. Of course, Jenny Young's one of the best players in the Big Ten, one of the best hitters.
Yeah, she got robbed of one, too, man. She just smashed one into left field, and the gal made a beautiful diving.
I've seen her get robbed a couple times on TV, too. She is a really good batter.
Yes,
she made first team All Big Ten last year as a freshman. We had her she's riding that wave of the radio interview. And today we're having the javelin star, Mike Stein, on.
Yeah.
And we had him on one time last year after he broke the school record, but he has since gone on to he was the Big Ten champion, and he was a first-team All-American, and now, of course, he's going to try to build on all of that, which means he's got to be the Big Ten champion again, and I can't remember where exactly he finished, but to be a first-team All-American, I think you got to finish in the top 4 or 6. Obviously, his goal is to try to win this thing, and Iowa doesn't have many individual winners in track and field. Tom, it's very, and a lot of schools don't have that. It's very rare, especially if you're not one of these Sun Belt schools, to have a lot of individual national. But when you're up there,
very rare.
I remember Antoine Maybank.
He was incredible.
He was one of the first guys when I moved up here that I did like a big feature story on. And at the time, he was one of the best 400 hurdlers and one of the best long jumpers in college sports. He was incredible.
So then we had a The gal was Brown that finished third at the Olympics.
Brittany Brown finished third, and I don't think she was an NCAA champion, though, was she?
I don't believe
but
she was.
She was an All-American, but she was not a champion. Bashir Yamini won the indoor long jump title. I remember he was an Iowa football player.
Sure,
too.
I do.
But it does not happen very. So it'll be interesting to see what Mike says, what he thinks about his chances are. I haven't really. I maybe during our break before we have him on, I may look up and kind of see where the competition is. But yeah, he's the school record holder, and I remember, if I remember correctly, he had been a really good baseball player, and he had a strong arm in baseball, and somebody told him that he should try that.
I think that's what when we talked to him.
Yeah, we'll update him on all that stuff. But yeah, the spring sports stuff is really starting to. I mean, think about it. We're 2/3 of the way through. The baseball and softball seasons are
nearing
the
regular season. Yeah.
It seems like just yesterday that we were doing all these coaching changes, But Fran was let go a month and a half ago.
Wow.
Isn't that amazing?
Yeah.
Mid-March.
No, it is.
Tomorrow's May 1st. Fran's been gone for a month and a half.
Yep, and he's had a new job for, 3 weeks?
Something like that, yeah.
And so he's deep in that, and we're...
But this is the time of year when time flies.
It really does.
November takes for freaking ever. It seems like.
And January is 65 days long always.
Yeah, but January, at least football finally. November's the killer where the days, you got like 3 hours of sunlight. You got football, wrestling, basketball all converging at the same time. It's just hell on earth.
Well, it is.
It's hell on earth.
Jesus.
You think I'm over dramatizing?
As a fan, it's great.
Alarmist.
As a fan, it's
great. Do this show.
Yeah, as a
6
fan,
days
it's great.
a week.
Work alarmist. Yeah, but it's the same thing for you every day.
Yeah.
Just come in here and grind.
It's a grind. Hello.
Hey, how you guys doing today?
Doing okay.
Hanging in there.
Good. So I was reading Baseball America, and they're projecting Iowa as a number 3 seed in the. Hang on one second here.
In their pod.
I think it was the Clemson region. They had them as the number 3 and Ball State as number 4. But they were projecting Iowa making the field of 64, and that's right now. I think the latest update they had on that was on Monday.
Yeah, and see, that doesn't count yet.
And then I saw one yesterday that had Iowa as one of the first 4 out.
Yeah, no, they're on the
bubble.
They're on the bubble. Plus, I mean, they had 9 big games left, so it's really kind of premature to even speculate. But no, they're definitely on the bubble. And last night did not help because their RPI is now in the 70s, I believe.
So when we're losing these midweek teams, because I haven't had a chance because I'm working during the midweeks, but when we're playing these, are these teams throwing their best guys at us? Their best pitchers.
I assume they probably are. But I know Iowa's not. Iowa's throwing their 4th or 5th or 6th best starters because their 3 best starters pitched during the weekend series.
But I would guess that it does them a lot of good to beat Iowa.
I would imagine they probably do, but I can't. Don't quote me on it because I guess I haven't never really looked into it.
And I always wonder that because. It just seems, I don't know if it's a motivational thing, but you just don't get up for those games like you do for the Big Ten games or, what it is. Or
I think largely it's pitching. I think a big part of it's pitching.
Okay. Well, hopefully Baseball America is correct and we can get this team into the NCAAs, even though it's traveling down to Auburn.
Yeah, but Baseball America's
fun to see him play.
Baseball America's opinion right now may be different than what it was on Monday. After
it could be different next
true.
Monday.
Yeah, so we'll just have to wait and see. They have 9 big games left. They can win 6 of those 9 games or 7. They're going to be flying into the NCAA tournament, I think. But that's a huge if.
Yeah. Well, hey, thanks for taking my call. Hey, Mr. Suter, it was really nice running into you down at Riverside, man. It was nice meeting Ann. What a nice woman.
She is a great lady and
good cook.
Yeah.
Yes, she is. And you
makes a hell of a cupcake.
And I would like to say that seeing you reversed our fortunes the other day at the casino, but unfortunately we continued our trend down the drain.
So what you're saying, he's a curse?
I'm saying he did not elevate our fortunes.
You took it on the chin?
You would think with the amount of money that we spend down there, Mr. Suter, they'd at least name a portion of that casino floor after us.
Yeah, well, they haven't.
So did that casino just knock the hell out of you?
Well, we've lost everything we took down with us.
That's sad,
Well,
Captain.
it was really
they lost
nice
everything they
meeting-
took down.
seeing
Their
you and
clothes,
meeting
their
Ann
dignity.
for the first time. She's such a lovely lady.
Well, that's nice of you to say. Thank you. Yeah, it was good to see you too.
They went home walking naked.
All right, you guys have a good day. Go Hawks.
Yeah.
But that's why casinos survive, right? They lure you in with a few good
Hey,
moments.
if we won every time we went down
There
there, I
wouldn't be a
sure as hell
casino.
wouldn't be here right now.
No, and there wouldn't be a casino.
No.
Because that's, and then, well, if you kept winning hey, get that Suter guy out of here. No, we're not. He's scamming us somehow. He knows he somehow figured this thing out. Don't let
Yeah,
him
well,
in.
he hasn't.
That's what no, you were reminded the other. But at least you know when to stop.
Yes, and my friend Kathy Bresnahan won.
I love her.
I heard about that.
$16,000,
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
Which was pretty good.
She's
Good
my
for her.
friend, too.
God, think about that. That's a lot of money.
Yes, it is.
Just for freaking.
She's great, and she helps dogs. And
Well, maybe she'll use some of
No,
that money.
Kathy's great. We
Yeah,
see her
she
down there
really
every now and
is.
again.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, that's a lot. Most I've ever heard anyone winning is like $6,000 from something like that.
Oh, I've known.
It's not life-changing money, but that would pay a,
70,000.
that would pay a lot of.
I know somebody.
I
70,000.
I could sure figure out what to do with.
Had a
16
friend
grand.
down in that we saw down in Las Vegas talking to him, and he said he won $42,000.
I wonder how often he gambles.
I don't know.
I
But
was-
on that trip, he won $42,000.
Because I've known some people that have won, but they lose in order to win.
Listen, I saw a lawyer. I'm told you might have heard this before.
I'm guessing we probably have.
In Rock Island when they opened up the first boat and
The president or
One-
Casino Rock Island?
casino,
Uh-huh.
and he wrote a check at the end of the night. He had lost $160,000,
I don't know
and
if you can afford it.
Well, needless to say, we didn't.
pulled out a checkbook, wrote it, and didn't. I mean, it didn't phase. It didn't
Yeah.
look like it phased them.
Did you lose that much last?
Almost.
Almost. Okay. Well, you get a paycheck here in another week to cover that.
Yeah, no, we didn't even. No, we don't.
He
play,
was 1-800 attorney. All right.
we don't play those kind of stakes. You know.
Can't remember the guy's name, but
So
I
how did
remember the
Bresnahan
phone.
win hers? What was she playing?
She was playing three-way quarter hot roll.
So what had to happen for her to win that much?
She was dealt a royal flush with, I think, one of them had a 3 times multiplier and one of them had a 11 or 12 times multiplier.
So was it anything she did or completely luck?
Completely luck.
Completely luck. Okay. Well, good for her.
Although
No,
she was playing quarters on that machine, which costs, let's see,
so did she literally walk out of there
cost
with?
$7.50 per hand.
They pay her in $100 bills, I assume. How do they?
Yes,
Man, can you imagine that?
I'd love to have it happen.
With my luck, I'd get rolled in the parking lot.
Jesus.
I would imagine if they have a security person escort
Escort
you out
you to
to
the
your
car. My luck, I'd get rolled
They
at high
have
V.
cameras. Yeah.
No, good for her though. Good for
No,
her. I always enjoy
great.
hearing stories like that.
I saw that on Facebook. So
I'm back to the Hawks. They got a D-back from Purdue,
yeah, I saw that.
Ty Hudkins, and I continue to be surprised that they're adding so D-backs and yet linebacker, nothing. And that must mean they like these guys or they're not done. Like I said,
One of the two.
one of those two.
Well, it could be both.
Yeah,
They could
well,
like
be,
them, but be
they
a
could
little
be,
thin.
and they could be trying to get guys. I mean, this kid they got from Purdue. It's not like he didn't like the world. I mean, he had one tackle, and yeah, he had one tackle. So I don't.
Must have seen something they like.
Yeah,
obviously.
I mean, but what I'm saying, it's not like he's an established player at this level yet.
Not
but
like
no,
he's that Hunter kid out of Colorado, or
well, no, I'm not. but it is interesting though that they're going for another safety, and that's 2 defensive backs that they've added here in the last couple of weeks, and yet linebacker continues to be status quo. I mean, but there's still time. There's still summer and what have you. But this Hudkins thing, that seemed to kind of came out of nowhere.
yeah, I was kind
I
of.
mean, even
surprised,
the guys that just live and breathe it didn't seem to have much until boom, I just saw that. I'm like, I was getting ready to shut it down, and I saw that he had committed, and he announced it on. I think he announced it on X, not Instagram, and but yeah, he's he's from Grand Rapids, Michigan. He had previously committed to Northwestern, but then changed after Fitzgerald was fired, went to Purdue, appeared in 12 games last year, had one tackle, obviously playing mostly on special teams, and must like his opportunity and money better at Iowa. Yeah. And, Purdue, Barry Odom's the new coach there. They're going through a change, and, maybe Purdue had moved on. You just don't know. Purdue might have said, you just don't know, but Iowa believes in him. And Phil Parker, I don't really question any D-back he goes after because he's earned the respect to not question. This guy may not prove to ever be anything, but as of now, you just wait and see what happens.
Well, you never know.
You just never know.
Until the kid gets on campus and shows him.
You just don't know.
No.
But, yeah, they added him, and I haven't seen anything about the High Point player. Have you?
A little bit.
I have read where he's trying to get more money out of everybody he's still involved with.
USC has backed off, evidently. Which leaves one team standing, evidently. But,
or how do you know his agency's not looking for more teams?
Oh, they probably
just
are.
don't. And
their original.
I've been told
group,
that Iowa's basically said this is what we can offer. We can't do more.
Probably
than that.
So.
And at this stage, you just got to wait and see what happens.
But of the original group of teams that were interested, it was down to USC and Iowa, and USC out.
I'm guessing USC said we're not gonna meet your financial demands.
I guess
that would be my guess on stuff like that.
That I don't know.
It's a weird world we're living in right now.
It is.
Watching these agencies breaking all these stories, it's surreal in some ways. But every day we live it, you get more used to it. If that makes any sense. Because, nothing surprises me anymore.
So if you would go to hell and it would be hot the first couple of days, eventually in hell you'll get used to it.
I'm not saying that. I'm not comparing hell to the transfer portal. Is that what you're doing?
Yes.
You're comparing hell to the transfer portal.
Pretty much, yeah.
Are you ready to do that, Suter?
I'm on board.
You guys both think that hell is much like the transfer portal?
I think so.
Yeah.
For some, what?
Yeah, I think it is.
I hadn't thought about that.
65% of the kids don't find a better situation.
So they go into the portal and it ends up just being a burning cauldron of despair and hate.
But you get used to it. Well, eventually.
So these guys that don't find homes, they eventually get used to whatever circumstance they are dealt. And that's the unfortunate thing about the portal. There are a lot of broken dreams that don't get reached. And I just think I think a lot of kids now, of course, they want the money, but the phrase I've been using is, seems like a lot of these kids now, since it's available, want the path of least resistance. That seems to be, and that's human nature. I get it. That's a lot of these kids, the first sign of trouble, well, I'm getting in the portal to find somewhere that won't make me go through this. And
I think that's some of that.
I think that's part of the problem.
I do too.
Of course the money is there, but but a lot of these kids, this ain't working. Why am I third team? I should be second. I'm out of here. I think that's going on all the time.
Sure it is.
And
and I think they're being influenced by agents and
parents. Family, without question.
But again, 65% of the kids either don't get a new situation or have to play down a level or two.
I've seen those numbers.
Yeah.
I've seen it a little lower. I've seen it even higher than that. I don't know. It's in a lot of these cases, like they'll say 2,100, and some of these are guys leaving low Division I, and they may end up playing Division II, but then that's sort of counted as somebody who didn't find the right home because they ended up. A lot of guys end up going down.
Well, they do
because they're desperate to find something.
They do.
That's what happens to some of these guys,
Yeah,
and a lot of them want to try to go back to where they were, but there's no spot waiting for them. And that happens too. No, it's a crazy world we're living in right now.
You're throwing the dice.
But it's it happens. Iowa's out there playing the game like you have to. Just getting this kid from Purdue, that's just part of playing the transfer portal game. It's never ending. It's 365. And all these news outlets that just cover it just nonstop. I went and looked at Pete Nakel, and you look at Tipton Edits, their Twitter feed is just like 100, 200 a day. So-and-so just entered the portal. So-and-so just narrowed to 5. So-and-so just committed here. So-and-so just entered the portal. So-and-so just...
And that's all day.
It's all day.
Yeah.
That's all they do. I couldn't imagine that.
I don't know how many people can really follow that are drawn.
Oh, God,
to
there's
that.
people that live and breathe it. Trust
Seriously?
me. Yeah, oh, God, yes.
I mean, fans.
I mean, Suter 20 years ago would have been living and breathing it, wouldn't you? When you were just...
I would have been more into it than I am now.
But yeah, but see, I just think you can oversaturate to the point where it gets a little silly.
Yeah.
You know, okay, this guy just entered the portal, and he's heard from these 28 schools.
You know, and
then if Iowa's in there, you tweet it, and there's a guy that Iowa's, and it's just...
See, that right there you just described. When I see that 18 teams listed, then that's why I'm not interested.
Yeah, and I just...
Because they're not interested in Iowa, probably.
But then some will write it down and try to get a hold of the kid. Yeah, Iowa's reached out to me. Boom, there's your content item for the day, drive traffic. That's how it works.
Yeah, and...
That's how it works. So maybe you're right. Maybe the transfer portal is hell.
It's hell. And when you go to hell, you finally will get used to it.
Okay. You don't
No,
ever
I
get
haven't
used to the heat, though.
necessarily seen a lot of that, to be honest with you, over the years.
What?
Yeah, I had to go to hell, but I got used to it.
Well, have you talked to people that went to hell?
I have not.
I have.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying.
What do you think Hitler thinks of hell right now?
Huh?
What do
Well,
you think?
God, he's been there forever.
Well, I know he's
walking
He's
around.
probably getting Social Security. He's been there so long.
Walking around with a cigar.
Yep.
80 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's been there. Yeah, he's been
80 years.
Yeah, he's got Mussolini on it to hang out with.
First song we've ever had to edit off of Bart Shore's show on Sunday.
Yeah,
I heard you talking about that this
Yeah,
morning with
yeah,
Hunter. What,
yeah.
Debbie Boone?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm not having that on. And some guy in the chat room is, they better not talk about Tom Waits.
Why not? He sucks.
Yeah, he sucks.
He sucks.
My daughter said
Boring.
he sucked.
Boring.
Well, there you go.
Boring.
Your daughter knows Tom Waits?
Yeah,
Which one?
Molly.
She said he sucked.
Oh,
too?
Amy wouldn't listen to Tom Waits on a
Well,
bed.
I can't imagine.
I'm guessing
Tom-
Molly got maybe
Molly.
exposed because didn't Molly work with Pulaski's son? Because Richard really loved
Yeah.
Tom Waits.
But we never played it here.
No, but he may have had it on in the back or because
I
he always had it on in the car. I'm like, who is
Molly listens to a lot of music, knows a lot of music, and
Tom Waits?
Despondent.
Gigi Allen or Tom Waits?
His music isn't that bad.
Who are you picking, Suter?
G.G. Allen. I mean, if you can avoid the feces.
Yeah, well, that's always the challenge.
yeah, I'll pass on both.
His music isn't that bad.
Oh, come on.
No, I mean, we played that one
Yeah,
song.
one song wasn't
No,
that bad.
I've listened.
I've heard a lot more than that, and it's pretty bad.
It's real bad.
Yeah, well, that one song we played was decent.
So Waits at least gets some consideration because there's no feces involved with him.
And I mean, he's got a lot of talent. I just don't like
The feces?
his song. No, I'm talking time. I don't like his songs.
Yeah,
I
same
don't like
way.
his
I
lyrics.
could say that about like Foreigner. They're obviously they.
Well, sure.
And I just don't like their music. I mean, well, hell, I could say that about almost
Well,
everyone
Tom
that plays
Waits
on.
can play he's just, he's got talent, but it's
It's just
like,
boring. It's just not my thing.
it's just like it's depression. It's people for real depressed people that are just about on,
that ain't gonna
they're on the
help.
ledge. Yeah,
This
they're on the
is
ledge.
gonna get him off.
And he's going to,
So thanks, Tom.
yeah.
What's his name? The one he ended up taking his life. Nick Drake. Have you ever heard his stuff?
Just from you.
It's kind of depressing. Yeah. And but I would take it over. I like the music of it a little bit more than I like his voice or whatever. But his music was depressing. Joy Division's music. Have you ever heard that?
Not if I
And
can
their
help
lead,
it.
and I don't know if it's a coincidence, but Joy Division's lead singer and Nick Drake both committed suicide. I mean, and you could see it sort of reflected in their music. It was depressing.
Hello.
Give me a break, guys.
Okay.
Who's that? Was that?
Yeah.
Paul.
That's
Yeah.
Paul.
Yeah.
Oh, is he a Tom Waits fan? Oh, he is, because you were the one that kept telling him the other day that Tom Waits sucks. 'Cause
Well, he
you
sucks.
were trying to get under his skin.
Well, I think I did.
Maybe he's a Debbie Boone fan.
Well, I know Paul's a huge Debbie Boone fan. I think that's part of it. He heard about the boycott.
Tom Waite sucks.
Should we take a break on that?
Yes.
Because we do have an Iowa track. Mike Stein coming on at 10 o'clock. I believe he's calling in. And
Who would you fill Kidding Stadium with?
Mike Stein over Tom Waite. Waite.
You think he'll say Tom Waite?
Well,
No.
we
We've already asked him
before, but I can't remember.
I can't remember who he said.
Okay.
You know, why didn't we write these down? Honest to God.
Yeah, no, that's a good question.
Just how stupid.
We'll be back.
1-800-800-ROSE. 1-800-800-ROSE. Your FTD florist is the only number you need to know to send flowers anywhere in the country or Canada from anywhere in the country. 1-800-800-ROSE. It's so easy. Just remember one number. 1-800-800-ROSE. Your FTD florist. 1-800-800-ROSE. Remember,
For a gift that your loved one will treasure for a lifetime, find it at our family-owned jewelry store in Iowa City, Harty and Stocker Jewelers.
We can show you diamond engagement rings, colored stones, fashion jewelry, and watches.
Our jewelers are on site so we can design jewelry for that special person in your life.
We are Harty and Stocker, serving Iowa City and the surrounding area for 3 generations.
Harty and Stocker Jewelers, downtown Iowa City, and HartyandStockerJewelers.com. Ask for Willa, Terry, Tim, or Kate. One of us is always there.
Don't wait for an emergency to get a backup for your car keys. Unlike the olden days, car keys have gotten extremely complex. Mike's eKeys for Cars can generate the most technically advanced automotive keys that are on the market today. For spares and lost keys, Mike's eKeys for Cars can produce most conventional transponder, high security, and remote head keys. Mike's eKeys for Cars will keep you on the road. Call 319-330-9185 and schedule an appointment today. Don't wait until it's too late. Call 319-330-9185 today.
You take great care to maintain your home or business inside and out. But maybe, just maybe, there's something missing. Something that makes your home stand out among the others in your neighborhood. Something that makes your business pop and increases traffic. Something that you can change and customize at your command. Well, there's a solution, and that's Illuminlight's permanent outdoor lighting from Big Dog Tech. Illuminlights provides illumination for every occasion. Holiday lighting, accent lights, security, and of course lighting for all your favorite sports. The Illuminlights app lets you create your own patterns with color, motion, brightness, and static control over every individual light, or use Big Dog's presets to transform your home or business. The professionally installed track system makes Illuminlight's LEDs virtually disappear until you turn them on. Rated at 50,000 hours, you'll enjoy stress-free convenience for years to come. For more information about Illuminlight's permanent outdoor lighting, go to BigDogTEK.net or give them a call at 319-395-0800. That's 319-395-0800.
Are you tired of living in a home that doesn't quite meet your needs? Then it's time to call the experts at Streets Maintenance. Their team of skilled professionals specializes in renovations and remodeling, transforming your home into the space you've always dreamed of. From kitchen and bath remodels to complete home renovations, no job is too big or too small. Streets Maintenance will work with you every step of the way to ensure your vision becomes a reality. So don't wait any longer. Call Streets Maintenance to schedule your consultation at 400-4483. Let's start building your dream home today.
Once upon a time in the land of the Hawkeyes, a business grew. A business that would become synonymous with real estate. Hi, I'm Steve Anderson of Hawkeye Title and Settlement. When you're buying or selling your home, you'll need title and settlement services. Consider the Hawkeye Title and Settlement team. Give us a call at 351-8600. Hawkeye Title and Settlement, the team you love, the people you trust.
Don't let just anyone take care of your smile. At Diamond Dental, you can expect compassion, expertise, and a personalized care plan to protect your teeth for life. With more than 30 years of combined experience, Dr. Forbes and his staff are prepared to tackle even your toughest dental problems, leaving your smile healthy and sparkling. Diamond Dental offers a full range of general and cosmetic dentistry, as well as dental treatment options for snoring and sleep apnea. It's never too early to start thinking about what's best for your smile. Schedule an appointment today by calling 319-390-3703 or visiting the office at 5815 Consul Street Northeast, Suite D1 in Cedar Rapids. You can also visit DiamondDentalPC.com for more information. Dr. Forbes is a proud sponsor of the Hawkeye Wrestling Club and the Inner Circle. Let the Diamond Dental team provide superior care for your entire family.
This is Leah Pasha, and I've been saying, hit a deer, call Premier for years. But it's time for something new. It's still where you need to go for deer divots and door dings, as well as damaged dashboards. That's what my dad Nathan's driving at and dreams about. Why not say, when your car is dinged, be a deer and call Premier? I think Dad's going to love that. Premier Automotive, North Liberty's premier auto body repair shop.
Be a deer and call Premier Auto Body in North Liberty.
Diamond Dream Sports Academy, 20,000 square foot indoor facility, holds 8 batting cages, space for infield work, space for throwing and pitching and all your arm care needs. Offers private instruction, group lessons, camps and clinics, leagues, memberships. Rentals available at Diamond Dreams is open to the public.
Our top level instructors include former professional, college, and Olympic athletes. Our coaches will help these athletes achieve their full athletic potential, develop a strong work ethic, and a solid base to build. The last thing you want to do is look back and wish you had worked or played harder.
Locally owned and established in 2005, Diamond Dreams is Eastern Iowa's premier training facility. Located at 2905 Stoner Court, North Liberty. Call today and reserve your time. 319-665-2173. 319-665-2173.
When you go to a family restaurant, you want 3 things. 1, a wide selection of breakfast, lunch, and dinner items. 2, you want those selections to be affordable and delicious. And 3, you want to be treated like family. You get all 3 at the Midtown Family Restaurant. Breakfast items available anytime the doors are open. Legendary tenderloins, onion rings, and hot roast beef sandwiches. And special ribeye and shrimp nights. Daily specials at each location. And no matter if you're coming in solo or with a group of 20, you get the same special family treatment. The Midtown Family Restaurants at Court and Scott Streets and at the Walmart Plaza on Highway 1 West. Follow them on Facebook or at midtownfamily.com. The family's waiting for you. GT Carr, owner of Supple's Building and Remodeling, has been offering unmatched service and quality for over 25 years. The trained professionals at Supple's Building and Remodeling will install and guarantee the products used in any job, no matter how big or small. They also stand behind their work and offer no-nonsense, exceptional customer service from design to completion and beyond. Whether it's a simple window replacement or a major house addition, you'll have the confidence that Supple's Building and Remodeling is committed to quality. Visit supples.net or call them today at 319-337-2246.
Hi, this is Tiffany at Senior Benefits. Are you confused with Medicare questions, anything having to do with Medicare? I take care of all Medicare customers, people under 65. I also do life insurance, long-term care, cancer insurance. I'm here to help you navigate any questions that you may be having or frustrations and anxiety that you may have with Medicare or insurance in general. Give me, Tiffany Rao, a call at 319-631-4795.
We've said it for years. We want to give you our best price or most competitive price up front, and now Ford's brought that to the table.
Just makes you feel good.
Patrick Eads and Terry Adams with Deary Ford.
It's a true Ford employee pricing plan.
As if you work for Ford or you're a retiree from Ford.
You could walk in and buy a new Ford for less money than I could purchase one for.
I have never seen Ford do a sale like this.
The From America for America event through June 2nd.
Shop Deary Ford, Iowa City.
When we say here for you, we mean it.
It's a great deal.
The Oxyoke Inn is ready to serve you with the same fresh food, prepared to order and served with a passion that you've come to expect since 1940. Serving our famous Sunday brunch buffet with lunch, dinner, family-style banquets, and carry-out daily. Reservations are easy at oxyokeinn.com or call for big or small tables and private rooms. We can't wait to serve you soon at the Oxyoke Inn.
The Oxyoke Inn.
In the heart of Amana.
From the Harty and Stalker Studios in the heart of the Hawkeye Nation, this is the mighty 1630 KCJJ, Iowa City.
Harty and Stalker Jewelers, making memories, making moments.
We may catch a glimpse or two of sunshine this morning, but it is overall going to be mostly cloudy today with a few scattered showers, maybe an isolated thunder shower this afternoon. Our high 64 with wind out of the southeast at 5 to 15. Scattered showers and thunderstorms tonight. Could get a quarter to a half inch of rain, 53 the low. More rain and thunderstorms tomorrow with a high right around 67. I'm meteorologist Sean Cable on the mighty 1630 KCJJ. Outside now it's 55.
KCJJ weather. Brought to you by Plum Supply.
Plum Supply, kitchens and baths. Your home never looks so beautiful.
Chat room. Don't think Zavon is popular at this station.
What, Zavon? I don't. I like him.
He's okay.
Yeah.
Never, I mean, not one of my go-tos at all.
No. Well, he's got a couple songs I like. Mohammed's Radio, I think, is great.
I kind of liked Lawyer, Guns, and Money.
Yeah, Lawyers, Guns, and Money. Yeah, I like that one.
Who are we talking about?
Warren Zevon.
Oh, yeah. I like.
Yeah.
I thought he deserved to be in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
He's finally getting put in. I mean, Werewolves of London, obviously, that's his big hit, but he has better songs than that.
Mm-hmm.
You like Mohammed's Radio?
I don't know it.
Oh, it's a good song.
But, yeah, I'm happy to see him in.
Yeah.
And the other, I mean, I saw Oasis didn't make it. They were close but didn't get in.
Probably just don't want him
fighting,
going on stage fighting.
Well, I would.
Well, they weren't. They didn't. I mean,
they're on
tour again, and they're not fighting.
They had Wonderwall. What else?
They had a couple others, but that one. Yeah.
Champagne Supernova.
They were
was
never.
good.
I like both of those.
No.
Yeah, they were that Wonderwall though. No offense, but the radio and it just played it nonstop.
That is what radio does.
God, it just. I'm like, oh God, mid '90s, it was on all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what you do. I know, I get it.
That's what we do.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. But again, we went through the list the other day. Chubby Checker, I figured he would have been in by now. I mean,
yeah, I'm surprised.
He did the twist, right?
Yeah.
He did the twist and
Let's twist again.
And twist again.
He had to have done more than that, didn't
summer.
he?
Yeah.
Willie Nelson's in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, isn't he?
I don't know, but he shouldn't be.
He shouldn't be, but nor should so many others who aren't rock and roll.
Okay, exactly.
Or maybe they draw the line if you're as country as Willie Nelson.
Just change the name to
The
the
Music Hall of Fame.
or the Pop Music Hall of Fame.
Yeah, I guess pop music.
Or
could.
Popular Music Hall of Fame.
Yes.
And then you can put in whoever the hell you want.
Yeah, as long as it was popular, it doesn't matter what genre it is.
Right.
And that seems to be kind of what they're doing because,
He
Tom,
was-
would you admit they're probably running out of bands?
No,
He
completely.
was inducted in 2023.
Okay.
Who was?
Willie Nelson.
Willie Nelson.
Oh,
Think about it.
yeah.
But when you need to put 5 or 6, 7 or 8 in every year for publicity and promotion, you're going to run out of bands.
Well, and Dolly Parton said, shouldn't be in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and she shouldn't.
And they still put her in, didn't they?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, and she's right. She shouldn't be.
Who was snubbed this year? Oasis and Mariah Carey.
Now, Oasis to me is rock. They're rock and roll. Mariah Carey is more pop, but yeah, I'm like with Tom. Just call it the Pop Music or
Yeah.
the Popular Music Hall of Fame.
And then it makes perfect sense, and everything's good.
So those were the two big. So Little Feat doesn't even get mentioned as a near miss or a snub anymore.
No, you'll never understand it. Nobody will ever understand it.
They'll never get in.
No.
I still say Waiting for Columbus, one of the greatest live albums ever.
Yeah.
Well, absolutely.
Maybe
agree.
one of the top 3.
Yeah. I agree with you.
Great album.
But they ain't going to get in.
No, and Lil George doesn't look like he's going to get in, which surprised me because there's other less accomplished people in the Hall of Fame than Lil George. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah, but he didn't live long enough.
No, he didn't.
to
He didn't.
He had to have a
put together
real
a catalog.
library. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, the Doors weren't long, but they did produce a lot of albums in the 4 years they were out.
Yeah, they had a lot of.
They produced a lot. I mean, for,
had a lot of-
for
Well,
him
you
being out, for
consider
him,
that they were around 4 years, and the Beatles were only around for 5 years.
I thought the Beatles were 62 to 70.
But I mean,
They were,
yeah, but
they were
they
around
were-
longer than that because they toured or they played in.
Yeah.
I mean, the
Germany.
Doors were
But
literally
I mean,
around
as-
from 67 to 71.
as far as here goes and playing their stuff and everything and their hits and everything, it really didn't start till 63.
Correct.
The end of 63.
That's right.
I've got those out. There are 2 albums, the blue and the red, the best greatest hits from 62 to 66 and from 68 to 70. The
Or 67.
or 67 to 70.
Yeah.
They've got, and where they're standing, it looks like on a hotel balcony looking down. You know what albums
Yeah,
I'm talking about.
absolutely.
I've got those, but
They were on Swan Records, and
That was She Loves You.
Yeah, and that was Dick Clark's label. that
well,
he had to
Zeppelin was
give
barely
out.
around a decade,
Yeah,
barely a decade, and yet here are the Stones. What was it? 50 years they've been together?
More.
No, it's more. You're right. 60. Didn't they start in 64?
I think. 62.
God, think about that. That's just incredible to think that they've been around that long.
I think 62.
They have. Well, when was As Tears Go By? Was that like 64?
And I'm not a huge Stones fan, but they put out a lot of good music.
Oh, for sure they have.
Yeah. When did Stones?
Awkward side. No, this isn't awkward.
Nah.
I just don't feel like talking.
When did Rolling Stones start? 62.
Oh, 62.
I thought so.
Wow, I didn't realize they started basically in
That's
time.
when they started, but then I think As Tears Go By would have been around 64. And I could be wrong about that.
But Beatles burst on the scene first. Can't we
Yes.
agree on that?
Yes.
But man, that's a lot of music that came out of a small area 60-some years ago, wasn't it?
Oh, amazing.
Really was when you think about all the different groups.
Yeah, the Kinks.
The Who. I mean, just
Jerry and the Pacemakers.
Yeah, I mean, just so many different ones. The Moody Blues. I mean, weren't they from? They were from England, weren't they?
Not sure about Moody Blues. I'm not a Moody Blues fan.
I'm not really either, but I thought they were from England. I mean, Jethro
65.
Tull's.
As Tears Go By was 65.
Jethro Tull's from England, right?
Think so.
Well, it's amazing though how many of those bands.
The Searchers, weren't they?
The Searchers, Freddie and the Dreamers.
Yeah.
Freddie and the Dreamers.
What about Herman's Hermits?
Herman's Hermits.
Uh-huh.
They from?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's incredible.
Yeah.
I mean, those were good stuff.
Yeah.
They all had good stuff.
And it was different too. It was. They all sounded different.
Oh yeah, no. It's a ton of the Left Bank. I loved the Left Bank but they only had maybe one or two albums.
I never heard
Pretty
of them,
Ballerina and Walk Away Renee.
Great song.
Pretty incredible though. From like 62 to 75, the bands that came out of England.
Yeah.
You know, because then after that initial thrust we were talking about, then you got Pink Floyd, Led Zeppelin coming out in the late 60s.
Yeah.
And stuff. No, it was impressive.
Yeah. And now the only one that's yelling at people is
Roger Waters.
Yeah.
As his last time we looked him up, he was worth $300 million, and he's still unhappy.
Money can't buy happiness,
I guess it can't.
Remember that.
I guess it can't. I guess
as soon as Hawk Fanatic gets its third $100 million, remember that.
Yeah, once it gets to the point where there's too much money, then you lose the fun, you know.
Did you get that phone call that you were waiting for Monday from the ad people?
Yes, I did. We had an interesting conversation. I told him about your guys' situation. I'll tell you what, he did not deny or make excuses. He's like, interesting. He goes, I can see why you would have some concerns. He goes, I'm going to look into that because it's same company.
She isn't.
Yeah.
Same company, but he didn't know anything about it. He goes, it was handled by a different. But I explained to him what happened, and he gave me all the numbers, and he said with the numbers I gave him, we could easily make $1,500 a month, maybe more, too. I'm like, well, what if we lose readership like the radio station did? And he's like, well, he goes, there's different ways to go about it. He was wondering if you guys went full in. Did you go? Because he would want to ease more, try a sample.
No, we did not go full in.
So yeah, but we had an interesting conversation. And when I gave him all my numbers, he said they could definitely make money for us. But I told him I need to do more research and have to talk to our advertisers, maybe get some feedback from our readers. And because you guys, I know you guys are proud of your webpage, but that's not your primary thing. That's just a sideshow for you guys. All I have is a webpage.
Yeah.
You guys, your thing is this.
It wasn't that. You couldn't. Well, listen.
Well, you said it yourself. You can't read anything.
Yeah, I go to CBS. I can't read anything. You go to NBC. You can't read. I mean, I post stuff on Facebook and Twitter from ABC and CBS and crap, and and people confuse it with our local stories because it's on the same. And they'll say, well, I thought you weren't going to have the ads interrupting anymore. Well, we don't on our local stories, but it's so damn hard to read. I went to Channel 9's.
Oh, no, I
morning.
end up not reading the story.
Yeah, well, you you can't. I mean, I seriously, every time the ad came up, I hit the X, and then it went back to the beginning of the story.
Hey, Mike Stein, I do have his hair.
You got to call him?
Well, I guess maybe we have to call him. But I don't want to give it.
Okay.
Okay.
So anyway, it did not do good things for our website. It ain't going to do good things for your website.
No, it really
will. Will you make some money from it for a little while? Yes, you will.
Yeah, but when it goes down.
And, we don't know how many people we've gotten back. I haven't looked at the metrics lately.
Yeah.
I'm sure we've gotten a fair amount of them back, but it was way down. Our visits were way down.
I don't know. I worry about ratings for radio. I don't worry about...
No, well, that's correct. That is completely correct.
Okay, well, I will...
You're going to give Mr. Stein a call?
I'm going to call him right now. So...
Okay, well, I think you should.
Yeah, maybe this was...
I think you should punch in the numbers.
Since they gave us the number the first time, they just assumed we had it, which I did. And
yeah, we don't keep those numbers usually.
Well, I keep them on my phone.
So Steve is picking up the phone now, and he is calling our visitor. Now, you're aware, Pat, that Steve, we're on the air right now.
Yep.
Right? Yeah, okay. So we're going to speak to a guy who's thrown a javelin farther than anybody listening right now, and we have tens of thousands listening. We good?
Yeah, he had Tom Waits on hold when I first...
No. We got Mike?
Yeah.
All right. Well, good morning.
Hey, how's it going?
Hey, Mike.
Going pretty good.
Now, this is your second appearance on this radio show, so you kind of know what to expect, right?
Yeah, I know the ropes now.
Okay, well, since the last time we had you on, you had broken the school record. Then you went on to win the Big Ten and earn All-America status. So obviously, as far as improving on what you did last year, there's not a lot of room for error. I mean, just talk about the standard that you've set and trying to build on that.
Yeah, for sure. So I threw 81, and I won the Big Ten, and this was like a Big Ten record. So yeah, pretty high bar, but really the key has just been holding myself to that standard every day. Like I go to practice and all my preparation, trying to hold myself to that level. And obviously, that's a really tough mark to better. But, I like that challenge because it makes me show up every day and bring intensity. And this year's been a little bit different. I've been banged up a little bit, but I've been able to persevere and keep coming back. And I think I've set myself up where that's well within reach to go surpass that again.
So what do you have to do to improve? Do you have to improve your mechanics?
Yeah, so a little bit of everything. So technique is obviously going to be the number one thing I need to improve. Right now I'm working on just it's very feel-based. So in javelin, you feel when you have a good throw, and there's a good feeling of like an elastic release. Your body feels like a rubber band. So I would try to replicate that every throw, and I'm trying to find that feeling again, because when I find that feeling, it goes far. And then the physical prep has been done in the off season, so I got much faster. I tried to improve my approach speed, and then obviously just getting stronger and getting healthy.
So when you say much faster, you're talking, how important is the run up to before actually launching the javelin?
Yeah, the setup is everything. So if your body is in a good posture, you need to run fast, but if you get too forward and try to run in too aggressively, then your posture goes out the window, and then you can't set up a good throw. So it's a delicate balance between running in super fast, but then also being effortless and maintaining your posture. So this is really what I'm working on right now is, can I hold that posture and set up a good throw while also bringing a ton of intensity and speed into the throw.
So doesn't your release point have to be almost exact to get a good throw? Because if it's too low, then it's not going to go far enough, and if it's too high, it's going to go too high and not far. Is that correct?
Exactly.
Yep.
Yeah, exactly. So if I throw too high, it usually stalls out, and then if I throw too low, you don't get the hang time. So in javelin, we call it hitting through the point. So you want to get all of that energy directly through the javelin, and that's most important. And then for the angle of the javelin, about 30 to 35 degrees. I noticed that Drake relays, personally, I thought I was throwing too low, whereas in previous years, my issue was I was throwing too high and it was stalling out. So I'm going to find the middle ground between that.
How much does the weather impact what you do?
Yeah, if it's a bad crosswind is the worst. If you have crosswind, it totally throws off the flight because the javelin kind of turns, and then that's not very good aerodynamically. I would compare it to flying. Obviously, when a plane takes off, it goes into the wind. I don't love headwind because it just makes your run-up speed a little bit worse, but it's not a bad wind. My favorite is tailwind because it makes me run in faster. You're not going to get quite the lift, but you will have a lot more velocity on the javelin. So headwind or tailwind is ideal. And then if there's rain and stuff, that's usually not too bad. I don't mind it.
Refresh our memory on how you got into the javelin. I remember a little bit about what you said. I know you were a baseball player, but if there's some young kids out here listening, maybe wondering, how do you get to be in this point where, because it's not a real common thing you see as a kid growing up. How did you evolve into this?
Yeah, so I was a baseball pitcher, and I can long toss really far. I can long toss about 350 feet at one point in high school. So I struggled with control a little bit. I couldn't put together the same velocity on the mound. So I was like, well, long toss, you run in and you throw it. So what track and field event, you run in and throw and only care about distance, that's javelin. So I saw that on Instagram. I saw people doing it and taking training ideas from javelin. I'm like, this sport just appeals to me. It's what I want to do. And I just bought a javelin on Amazon, and the rest is history. I just started training. I actually messaged an old Iowa State thrower about it. He kind of helped me out, but yeah, that's how I all got started.
So, Mike, didn't you tell us the last time that you could stand at home plate and throw the baseball over the fence?
Yes, yeah, exactly. So that would be one of my workouts back in high school. I would just take a bucket of balls and see how many I could throw over the fence, whether it was left field or I'd try to get over center field sometimes. So that really developed a lot of arm strength, and that still carries over even today. My throws, I find it's kind of a superpower to have good throwing mechanics and the ability to, just throw a ball far makes you able to throw the javelin far. It gives you potential once you get the mechanics of it figured out.
I'm curious, your competitors, do you know much of their backgrounds? Do some of them come from similar backgrounds as you? Are you aware the roots of your competitors?
Yeah, so a lot of American throwers, they're similar and probably came from baseball. Not all of them. Some of them specialized in javelin or came from another track event. But a lot of the European throwers, they've been specializing in javelin since, age 8 to 10. Wow. And they have their mechanics down super well. But on the flip side, like I was saying, I think that playing multiple sports and throwing the baseball and developing arm strength in baseball really is an advantage for me versus some of the European throwers might not have that background.
So, okay, you're going to this spring now. I mean, obviously, you're a marked man. You're the Big Ten champion. I mean, obviously, that's your goal. What do you think your potential is? What do you think your ceiling is going into this outdoors, to the thick of the outdoor season?
Yeah, so I don't think I've put together an amazing competition or amazing throw yet. I've seen my floor has been raised. I'm a lot more consistent, around 75, 76. And I've been a little bit banged up. So I've been trying to get completely healthy and, work to put my technique fully together and kind of tie it all together. But I think when I tie it all together, I have the potential to go, over 80 consistently and then potentially 85 plus. So that's what I'm working towards right now.
So, okay, you hold the record. The school record is 266.4, right?
Yes, that's right.
So I know it's just a number, but what would it mean to get to 270? Is that the next thing, 270? Do you look at it that way?
I think more in terms of meters, but so 85 meters,
okay,
might be 270, 275, somewhere in there.
Okay.
But really, I just want to better myself each year. So, if I threw 267 and it was a 1 foot PR, I would actually, at this level, I would actually really like that because, it shows your continuous improvement. Obviously, you want the big PR, but just consistency around that 266, that 80 to 81 meter level, like if I could consistently throw that, that's really what I'm looking for right now.
I mean, your story is incredible because it just shows that anything is possible. especially in this age of the internet and everything. It's just the way this came together for you. Do you ever say to yourself, wow, this is almost surreal where I am now?
Yeah, I do say that to myself sometimes. I look back at all the things that had to line up, whether it was, my baseball career or buying a javelin and then getting into meets and all the people who helped me along the way. And just to think, that it's really crazy. And without the internet, too, and the ability to network with other people, it wouldn't have happened.
How much did the javelin, javelin cost
That's
you?
what I was just going to ask.
I think it was about $150. They're not super cheap. $150 to $200 for like a beginner's javelin. I mean, if you're a male thrower, you want an 800-gram javelin, and then females, you want a 600-gram javelin. But the javelins I throw now, like they cost like $1,000. They're super expensive because they're carbon fiber, and if you hit them correctly and you hit them through the point, there's less energy loss because it's so stiff.
So when you kind of explained to your family what you were going to do, were they surprised? I assume they were supportive, but were they like, wow, javelin, it came out of left field?
Yeah, it did a little bit. I floated the idea a little bit, when I was pitching and training to develop velocity. I floated the idea. I'm like, wow, my family was a track family. My brother, he's a sprinter here. My dad was a sprinter at Drake back in the 90s, and my mom, my sister both loved track. So the idea was always there that there's this event in track and field I could do. And I just got super interested and started watching on YouTube, and then I bought the javelin. They thought I was a little crazy. they thought I was a little crazy, I'll admit. And then really when I sold out on trying to develop javelin over everything else, I think they really probably thought I was crazy. But when they saw the results, when they saw how hard I was working towards something, that they were always super supportive. So that was the big thing.
It's real interesting to me, too, because, you're throwing things. Your shot putters are just massive. Your discus throwers are pretty massive. And then your javelin throwers are just more athletic. Yeah.
So I like to think of us like we're kind of a cross between a jumper and like an NFL linebacker or an MLB pitcher. So, you have to have the arm strength of an MLB pitcher. You have to have the strength levels of like a linebacker, and then you got to be as athletic as a jumper, and you got to be very like elastic and good at running, good at jumping for this event.
Oh no, it's a great story, Mike, and I appreciate you coming on. Now, what's your next event? What kind of just give what's coming up here on the horizon for you?
Yeah, I'm actually going to be throwing at the home meet. I'll be throwing at Musco Twilight.
Oh, okay.
Friday.
Oh, great.
I believe it's around noon. This is kind of going to be a tune-up for like the Big Ten meet, which will be like May 15th or something in Oregon. So I'm just going to take 3 throws. It sounds like just save some bullets, but I'm going to take some throws at the home meet.
That's good that it's the fans.
Awesome.
It's nice that the home fans will get to see you guys compete because it doesn't happen very much. We've talked about that before. The way track and field is set up, it's not a real fan-friendly sport at the college level. I mean, it's just not.
Exactly. There's we travel everywhere.
Yeah.
In Orlando, Austin, Texas, Drake I consider like a home meet too, because it's just so close. But
so, are you throwing Friday or Saturday?
I'll be throwing Friday. I believe it's around noon.
I'm going
to switch it up.
I'm going to try to get. I'm going to try
Great,
to get out
so
there.
Real
right
early on then.
Yeah, no. And the weather. What's the weather like Friday, Captain? Have you?
We got a chance of showers,
But nothing big.
No, not.
Okay. Well, like I said, good luck, Mike. This is fun again, and we look forward to following you the rest of this spring. A lot of big things ahead for you guys. And again, congratulations on all your success, and thanks again for coming on.
Thank you, Mike.
Thanks for having me on.
You bet.
Awesome. Good luck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great story.
Yeah,
it really is. It was fun listening to him the first time, and just as fun this time. And
I still just can't even imagine that sitting there at home plate throwing the ball over center field. That's incredible.
I could. Well, never mind. I don't. I could come close to doing that.
Yeah?
I used to do that. But I never had the hair for all or the desire. I would never have had the drive or the vision to do what he did.
But how often do you see center fielders, back at the wall and being able to throw it to home plate? And the answer is not very often.
No, but the center fielders aren't pitchers.
Well, that's true, too.
There's a reason you're pitching in the first place is because you got a pretty good arm.
A strong arm, sure.
But yeah, but no, that's it's cool that he was able to have the vision and the forethought to do something. I mean, when I was done pitching, I was done pitching. I couldn't have. But I mean, it's a cool story. I mean, he saw something and he reached out for it, and now look, it's been life changing for him.
Yeah,
I mean, it really has. He's going to make he's good enough to where he can make some money once he's done here.
And he obviously has so much fun with it too.
Yeah, you can tell he enjoys it.
Yeah.
He's a good interview too. No, it's a neat story. I mean, it is unfortunate though. Track and field is not a fan-friendly sport at all. I mean, they'll have the Musco meet on Friday and Saturday, but it'll be split rosters, and but there's really nothing you can do about it. The way it's set up, they're always striving for something more important
and
down the road.
And the track's real nice.
It's really nice. It's a great facility.
Kretzmeyer track.
Great parking. Great. They got everything.
Yeah.
Just there's no.
So we just walked by there yesterday on our way to the softball game, and it was beautiful.
No, it's a great setup over there.
At the beginning of ESPN, they used to cover it a lot.
Did they?
Yeah.
What?
Track and field.
Well, no, I get it. And ESPN still, they do the NCAA. But what I've said, and we'll never have this, I would love to just, see, on Friday, Iowa's going to be hosting Nebraska, Wisconsin, and Indiana in a quad at Kretzmeyer Track. You just don't see that. That's just not there because you can't, because of the way the season, you're always striving and preparing for, either the conference tournament or the NCAAs. There's always something that's bigger that keeps you from just unleashing all your power, but I would love to go to something like that and cover it.
I would
just don't have it. I appreciate what Larry Wazorek was able to do to get this Musco Invitational to become something. I remember at the very beginning when Larry was getting it established. It's just nice that it's been able to sustain, and hopefully the weather will hold up and some fans. Because I think I am going to go out there I'll go right after this show and go out there and see. He said about noon on Friday, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I'd like to go out and see him and introduce myself and watch him throw. He said I liked it when he said he's only going to take 3. He wants to save some of his bullets, meaning for competition down the road.
Mm-hmm.
But no, that was a fun interview.
Yeah, and the first time we talked to him was fun too. Yeah,
and we didn't ask him. I guess we could have asked him if he remembered who he would. I think it would have been funny though if he goes, well, back then I said so and so, but now it's definitely Tom Waits. Would you have laughed, Captain?
Yeah, Tom Waits.
But no, that was fun. Again, I continue to enjoy these interviews with these Iowa student athletes. It's been a lot of fun. It's been way more enjoyable than I thought it would be.
Yeah.
And it's good,
too.
and I no knock on. It's good to interview athletes from different sports besides men's and women's basketball and football too. Wouldn't you agree?
Yes.
Because we get them a lot just through the normal protocol. But it's just nice to get to know some of these other athletes.
But it was fun to go to the softball game and say, hey, yeah, we talked to her 2 weeks ago. Yeah, we talked to her earlier this season.
Yeah, the Tori Bennett.
Yeah.
She played center field?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, no, it is. I find myself doing that, too. I'll look at the results of, we had her on the radio.
Uh-huh.
At least now we're getting better results. Last year, all the people we had on, didn't they hit the portal, a lot of them? I mean, the tennis player, the golfer.
Yeah, we had some of that.
And that golfer slipped out of town with not much. Suddenly, man.
At midnight.
Yeah, he was gone. And, the track, remember we had that Genoa McIver? He ended up transferring to Florida.
Yeah.
But that's NIL. It's in every sport, So, and hopefully the softball team can keep.
It did seem like.
Well, no, I had people
every
saying.
Time we
I had people saying, "Hey, please don't have this guy on because I don't want him to transfer." but that's just the world we live in. But Mike seems pretty. He seems pretty firmly entrenched here, and I'm not sure if he's a junior or a senior, but just a cool story. Just how he found something to do, and he admitted it. He could throw hard, but he didn't have control. And that means he knew he was limited in what he could do as a pitcher, and he found a way to get to college to be an athlete. And I commend him for that.
Yeah, for sure.
That's pretty cool.
Yes, indeed.
Yep.
What do you think, Captain?
Yep.
Well, what would you like me to think?
I just want you to think. You just
I'm always thinking.
Never stop thinking.
I'm always thinking.
Are you always thinking?
Oh yeah.
Because if you think, you are.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, I'm trying to think.
I must be thinking because I got a headache.
You got a headache right now?
Yeah.
Maybe you're dehydrated.
All right.
And this is my third of these, so I'm not dehydrated.
I've got Diet Mountain Dew. It's almost empty.
Headache all morning.
Just the stress of carrying this giant.
Well, it's a hard
life.
It's a hard rain and fall.
It's a tough gig you've set upon yourself.
Jesus.
Trying to think if we covered anything else. It was funny. I just decided this will show you the interest in basketball right now. The other day I'm like, I haven't really written anything to put it all into one thing where all the players off the 24, 25. So I threw a couple paragraphs together and just listed all the Iowa former players on it and where they are now. The thing just blew up traffic-wise. There's an interest in basketball right now.
There sure is.
There's more of an interest in basketball right now than football. Wouldn't you agree? And that's natural.
100%.
Yeah, I mean, now I will say, like, Rob did a really neat video montage of practice. It did really well traffic-wise. But, no, there's a lot of interest right now with men's basketball because I was stunned by how much traffic, just that one story. And all it did was basically list where all the players on the roster were. And, 3 have used up their eligibility, and then just and fans are. It was funny. The first comment I get is nobody cares. And I said to the guy, well, you care enough to comment on it.
Yeah.
And then I never heard back from him.
Read it.
But obviously, yes. I mean, I've never understood that. If you don't care, you don't look at it. You move on.
Yeah, we get that when we post a story or something. Who cares?
Well, you obviously you took
do.
the time to.
Yeah. Why are you?
I've never understood that approach. But no, I was surprised. But there's a renewed energy with basketball right now, and I just got a tweet from a guy. I can't make it down. I wish I could because I know the. Let's see what do we got going on? The final reminder of media availability today with Hawkeye head coaches Kirk Ferentz, Jan Jensen, and Beth Getz. 5:45 to 6 p.m. immediately prior to Polk County I Club in West Des Moines Marriott. It's right by where my brother. I just don't have the time to get down there today. This is they're doing their annual I Club.
We've been talking about the I Club stuff, and there are quite a few things they still do,
but not near as much as they used to.
Not as many.
Not near as much as they used to. I mean, I used to cover them on a regular basis. They would do like one or two a week for like May and June. They've cut back considerably, but yeah, they still do stuff like they'll do the Johnson County one because that's right before football season starts, isn't it? The Johnson County one, the annual one.
I believe so.
Yeah. So, but yeah, this is one. Like I said, I wish I could get down there, but there'll be enough people. The register will be all over this thing. Whatever Kirk says, it'll be moon landing, and I get all but I just don't have time to make it down. And I can't imagine they're just going to start dropping bombs here. Do you think? Beth, they could ask Beth about the. I guess you could ask Beth about the softball search, but there's not only so much she's going to say.
Yeah,
and Kirk we just had Kirk Saturday for a half an hour, and I think he did his TV show. I think he did that thing with KCRG last night, Monday night. I think he did it. So but no, I think these iClub things are good. Like I said, if I was in Des Moines, if I was in Des Moines, I'd go and shoot some video and interview these people. But I just don't have time to get down there because I'm not in Des Moines. But I appreciate the gentleman reaching out and letting us know about. Send Lang down there for all of us.
Not sending Lang.
Lang can go visit doesn't his sister live in Des Moines?
She sure
does.
does.
There this weekend.
Yeah, but he can go there. Have him go there tonight, and he can just stay there through the week.
No, he can't.
Why?
Because he's got to work.
Oh, all right. You couldn't survive without Lang?
No.
All right.
This whole operation
depends on Lang.
Shut her down.
Yeah.
So the moment Lang's gone, we're gone.
Pull
is what
the
you're
plug.
saying.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, pull the plug.
Well, we made it to 10:30. Thanks again, Mike Stein, for coming on with another fun guest appearance. And and we'll be back on Friday. Hopefully, talk about another softball win, and then. Like I said, the big series out in Seattle, and I don't believe anybody in the Iowa media will be traveling out to Seattle to cover the baseball team. That's an expensive trip.
It is. So tonight, UI softball again starts at 5:30 against
Iowa.
UNI.
I don't know anything about Northern Iowa. I don't know the record or anything.
I don't know.
But, 5:30. So weather's going to be fine, right?
No.
Oh, there is a chance of rain tonight, but
showers and thunderstorms.
Yeah, but what are the percentages? We never get percentages.
I think
like 8, 10,
130.
That sounds like our tariffs.
I don't know. If I can look.
Well,
I don't want to be yelled at.
Wouldn't you agree that the
Mace
percentage is a big part of the weather report? Is it a 10% or a 60%?
40.
40s.
That's
70 tonight.
very possible.
Okay.
You mean like late tonight?
No, I mean like tonight.
Well, that could be
7,
8, 9.
Yeah,
okay.
7, 8.
So then that is while the game's
they
going
may have
on.
a problem getting the game in.
Yeah,
That's what one app that I don't go by.
But the biggest thing, though, too, though, is the biggest thing is lightning.
apps.
The biggest thing is lightning. That would really screw them over if there's lightning. So we'll see. Hopefully they get it in, and hopefully the Hawks can stay hot. I mean, they've won, what, 8 of their last 9 Big Ten games. Yeah. And baseball, they'll get over that last night. That was an unfortunate loss, but they'll hopefully. You think they're going to win the series in Seattle?
Yep.
I do, too. I think they're going to win 2 out of 3.
I do.
Do I think they're going to win the series against Oregon State and Des Moines?
I
No.
do not.
Do I think they're going to win the series here against Oregon? For some reason, I do, but that could change. That answer could change.
And if all of that happens, then we're in the NCAAs.
If they win 2 out of the next 3 series, they're probably the Big Ten
We're
champ.
the Big Ten
Well,
champs.
especially if the series they lose is Oregon State, because that's not going to affect the conference standings.
Oh,
If they
exactly.
win the Oregon and Washington, they're the Big
They're
Ten
in.
champ, and then they're in. I don't care
Yep.
what these negative nillies. They are in as the Big Ten champion. They're not going to host. I think they've lost too many games to host. But if they win this conference, they may even think they could climb to a 2 seed.
I don't know.
I mean, we'll see.
Maybe.
It's going to be interesting to see what happens. So, all right, everybody, enjoy your day, and we'll be back on Friday.
All right. Police reports next with Captain Steve and Tommy Lang. HawkFanatic.com. Check it out. It's free.
KCJJ Weather, brought to you by Plum